Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show of the Codex podcast. As usual, I am your host, Sonny Kruger, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Dan Kelly.
What's going on?
Well, we got a good episode of the Codex podcast set ahead for everybody. We got some comic book news, of course, and then, of course, we do the regular schedule of Variant Insanity, right or wrong. You've got 3, and I've got 2 statements. Random panel of the week, which is why people will see why this episode is called "This Is Balls," and then we got the F list, who's one of my most hated characters. I'm finally putting them on the F list. And then we have our topic of the week, which will be what makes you want to buy a comic book you've never heard of before. So that's what we got going on today. And look who's in the chat, Liz. Hello, Liz.
Bring that up. What's going on, Liz? Thank you for joining us.
It's so great to have you. And so looking for a fun episode. And then today, got a bit of, you know what? It's mail call. A few days ago, I got some comic books in the mail. So I thought, let me show you what I got. Some of the stuff that I didn't get on Christmas. I was waiting, and then also there was a sale at Heroes Corner Comics. They still have a Codex deal on there. So let me show you a bit of the comic books that I got. Start off with this Lee Bermejo variant cover of the Batman Deadpool.
Nice.
So you got Dr. Doom and the Joker. Love that cover. That was almost my cover of the year when I was picking out, for Codex. So,
but it couldn't have been because it's not X-Men.
Yeah, so I was thinking I almost went with this one.
What's up, Richard?
Hey, just showing you a bit of my mail call. Finally got started reading DCKO. So I got this cover. This is a wraparound cover. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like the Brady Bunch cover.
Yeah, so I got that one. Started reading it, and I'm enjoying it. It's a good story. And then, yes, that's right, Sonny's Beard 2026. And by Dan Kelly art. And the new history of DC issue number 3. So now I have all 4. This is the one I was missing. This is
nice.
A foil cover, so I got that.
Yeah, I posted a bunch of sketch covers for sale on a comic group on Facebook the other day, and all I got was a couple people that liked it. I'm like, I don't need you to like it. I need you to buy it.
Buy my stuff, man.
Hey, what's going on, Mighty Mike?
Hey, good to see you, Mike, and I shall see you next week. Richard's right. Yeah, True Codex is the best. And you were talking about, Dan, you were saying like you were surprised it wasn't something X-Men. Well, all right. Richard Ray picking for Variant Insanity, but yes, so I got quite a bit of X-Men. So get started with Time Slide. 2 characters, my 2 favorite time travelers from X-Men, Cable and Bishop. So looking forward to reading that story. And then, of course, Lobo's F-Lister of the Year. I think I have somebody who beats him. But, when you were saying about the covers and X-Men, and, I'm one of the people who likes Age of Revelation, so I got a bit of a sale at Heroes Corner Comics. So I got Amazing X-Men number 1.
Richard, if I ever get DC to hire me to be a writer, I'm gonna request that I write for Lobo, and I'm gonna make him apologize to Dexstar, and then I'm gonna make them I'm gonna make it a buddy cop team book with Dexstar and Lobo, and they're gonna be best friends.
Would you forgive Lobo then? Yeah, I've had extra money, Dan.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Keith? That's all right, Liz.
And Sinister 6 number 1. Look at that. Somebody make a sale very happy. I see they got Venom in there. And then Long Shots number 1.
Oh, did you get all the number 1s for it?
Quite a few. I think there were still a couple. That I didn't get. And then Unbreakable X-Men. Yeah, because there are so many. And then Radioactive Spider-Man number 1. I got issue number 2 of this already. So, and then they gave me a free comic book, which is like from Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, okay. Oh, for IDW.
Yeah. So there's Beneath the Trees. Yeah. Beneath the Trees, Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring. So I didn't realize they're having a new story. Nice. Richard said he would buy the hell out of that comic book. The buddy comedy between Lobo and Dexstar. Well, who knows with all these crossovers going on? Oh, no.
Yeah.
That wouldn't affect anything. But yeah. So who knows what the future holds. But yeah, so that was my mail call. Those are some comic books I got. And then I'll try to check out a comic book shop maybe tomorrow, because Wednesdays I'm prepared for a certain show. And speaking of tomorrow, like I said I may be looking to get some comic books. Like, tell everyone who the comic character of the week is.
Oh, this tomorrow we're going to be doing the Flash Wally West.
Yes, that should be a fun one. And then my next is that I would love Beneath the Trees. It's on my wish list. Comic books like to read. Because I constantly hear very good things about it. And I heard even a comparison to the show Dexter, but like with the like beers and stuff. So sounds like something I would like. Yeah, see on this.
Yeah, I mean everybody that reads it says good things about it.
Yeah, so it's one of those stories that everyone should check out. And speaking of stories, in 2 days, Dan, I have a story called Bodies, and it will be released on Amazon. So it's another story that I wrote. I wrote it years ago. So you may be like, man, how's Sonny releasing these books quickly? I wrote them all, many of them years ago, and now I'm rereading stories and I'm working on editing them, and my Maria's helping me format them for Amazon and then getting them out there. Dan, you're like me. We're stubborn people, and we don't want to use AI cover art. And I was trying to get with a cover, and then like just myself, I'm like, I don't have the materials for this or that. And then I'm like, and I refuse to do an AI cover, so I just literally have a white background, and I put the title in. So that's why it's not fancy. I refuse to use AI art. Check out the story of Bodies.
I mean, there's no need. The AI art thing. It's just laziness, and for the people that say, "Oh, I'm just not good at drawing," like, well, nobody is when they start. Like, you work at it, and maybe you'll get good, maybe you won't, but there's tons of artists out there that would love to get hired to to do work for you. Some will charge a lot, some won't charge a lot. You just there's Facebook groups for them. There's Craigslist. There's there's Fiverr.com, which I've gotten a ton of stuff on there for comics that I've been kind of working on, and especially for music stuff. And there's a ton of ways out there that you could find someone to work on it for you. Or if you don't want to do that, there's tons of like free clip art and
yeah, they do have that too. I was and then they decided not to.
I keep thinking public access, but public domain. Public domain stuff that you can go, and use that's out there too. That it's nothing new, but it was created by an actual person.
Yeah, and for the other book, Killing So Much, I bought a spiked baseball bat, a rubber one, not real, and set it up and do some food dye on it. So that was me taking a picture and painting with, yeah.
Yeah, but even that, you
stick people cover, yeah.
You find someone to draw something, and then you color it. What's the name of the book again?
Bodies. And actually, looks really nice. Yes, I think white cover is cool, like the Beatles album. So there you go. Good comparison. Now I could compare it and say, it's because the Beatles, and we're both from England, and But yeah, so maybe my next book I'll try to get something better. Go out, take some more pictures. But this one I was stubborn and said I'd rather have a white background. Yeah, and also I know certain people are against buying books with those covers. So I'm like, immediately I don't want to get hate immediately. I know eventually it'll come, but.
Yeah, my buddy recorded a few months ago, recorded a little short acoustic EP, and I can't even remember how many songs we did. I want to say 5, but he's like, I want you to play bass on it. So I, wrote bass parts for it, and hey, what's up, Booge? So I, wrote bass parts for it and went and played bass on it, and he had me play some guitar parts on it too, and this. So then when he's putting it together, he sends me the thing, and it's the cover, and I'm looking at it like, this looks like crap. And I ran it through I was like, is this AI? And I don't get any answer, and I like run it through the the websites that tell you if something's AI. And I was like, dude, what? I was like, why do you put the time into like writing all this music, original music, and recording it just to do that? Like, I would have drawn a cover for you for free.
Yeah. One thing I've seen in writers groups, what people are saying is that they're running stories through AI, and that they're running their own stories, and AI is saying like this is 80% written AI, and they're like that they're saying that they were the one who wrote it, and the AI is telling people it's AI written. So I think people should watch out.
Yeah, well, that's also them claiming it too, right? Like, is that just a way of them getting around when someone says this is AI? Like, it's not. See, I posted this before. Like, okay,
Yeah.
did you just pre-post? You know, like I don't know, and I'm like, did you pre-post that to do? I don't know. It's
To me, I haven't run any of my stuff through AI, but hey, I put my stuff out there. I can guarantee you it is all written by me. I don't want any other. I don't want one sentence written by not me. I'm stubborn on that, and yeah, that's how I am. Because I love it. That's what I love to do. I love writing. Just like I love doing this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We are not AI. We are the real deal.
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe in 100 years, somebody will release an AI version of the Codex podcast, and then somebody will travel back. They'll say, "Wait a minute! I found this old footage of these guys from 2026. They were real, and they're dead now." But our legacy lives on. So, Dan, I think it's ready to jump into the actual show. I'm ready if you are.
I'm good to go. All right. Let's kick some tires.
There you go again. Welcome to the actual show of the Codex podcast. Which is book is action figures blood. No, I swear no blood is used in the making of my stories. I use these two fingers and this laptop I'm on right now. But yes, welcome to the actual show of the Codex podcast as usual. You know I'm the host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-host today, Dan Kelly. And one thing I forgot to do was to tell you guys some of the usual stuff that, as Uncle Gary says, we're dripping with all the socials, and we'd like to give them all to you at the Code X Station. And then, of course, you can get some merch, meet the team, all that stuff, and so much more at www.thecodexstation.com. And if you want to have some fun on Facebook, you can go to a Facebook group called Comic Character of the Day, where most of us met each other. So, yeah, we had a fun pre-show. Show you some comic books I got. We were talking about quite a bit of things, the AI talk. But now we're on to the real deal, and we have some real news for everybody, and I'll get us started with the rundown. We got some Avengers Doomsday updates. There was a teaser trailer released, and we see Cherie meeting out with the Thing, getting ready for Avengers Doomsday. And now there's a whole page, or there's a whole video on YouTube, the Doomsday clock leading up until its release on December 18th. And then, speaking of movies, we've heard that the movie Blade is actually being canceled, but maybe something bigger on the horizon. There may be a story of the Midnight Suns. So there you go. You get not just Blade, you get Ghost Rider, you get quite a few of the others. And one thing I forgot, shame on me for forgetting last week, that Brainiac was cast. Lars Eidenberg is set to play him in the new Superman movie.
Hey, I like that movie, The Rundown, with The Rock and Sean William Scott and Christopher Walken, especially when he's like talking to all these indigenous people about how The Rock and Sean William Scott like stole this thing from him, and he's telling them to get back. He's like, it's like I have a tooth that's taken by the tooth fairy. You understand what the tooth fairy is? And he's trying to explain it on to him, and then he's like, then he just gets frustrated. He's like, you leave your tooth under the pillow. She takes it, gives you $1. All right, go get me my idol.
Because the Boo said, better than the Rock movie, The Rundown. I saw that movie at the theater. I do remember The Rundown.
I like that movie, man. That's a good movie.
Just some fun action, Blade canceled again. Good grief, yeah. So now we're saying it's going to be the Midnight Suns or Rise of the Midnight Suns. Yeah. Then, as Boo says, as Richard said, Hollywood makes like 5 vampire movies every year, and Marvel can't figure out how to make one. Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is it's just annoying. It's
But
just
thank you.
annoying at this point.
But thank you, Booch. Yeah, as Booch said, yeah, I'm not sure I've seen all of that movie. Just giving this rundown some props. Hey, thank you. Yeah, our rundown. As much as I was fine with that movie, I will say that our rundown does beat The Rock's rundown.
I
But
think that
no,
was I don't think it was his first movie role, but it might have been like his first big one.
because was the Scorpion King? Because then the
Yeah,
girlfriend never
that one was
returns.
the first one. I never saw that. I thought it looked stupid.
Man, the CGI in the movie returns top
Yeah,
notch.
I've seen that. It's pretty bad.
I still enjoyed the movie though. But yeah, I hear that they're making a new Mummy gonna come out to you. Which about Richard, yeah. But some more is how we talk about movies, and we did say that Brainiac was cast. He would be played by Lars Eidenberg or Eidinger. Excuse me. Yeah, he was an actor. He was in the show Irma Vep is where I remember him being in there. He played an actor. He was like he'd be very drunk, but then somehow he'd show up on set and he would pull off the role. So he did a good job. So I've seen his work before. We'll see how it goes. And he plays Brainiac. But speaking of actors, you may have heard of this show. It's called Stranger Things. I've actually watched the whole thing. One of the main characters, who plays Steve, Joe Carey. There's rumors that he's going to be in the MCU. Who will he play? I heard that he might be playing. Harry Osborn was one of the guesses that people were saying.
He could. I don't know that I'd want to waste him on that. I saw people. I guess that's a theory. It's also
Who's
Nova because they floated Nova doing a show out there for a while. I saw maybe Cyclops.
Yeah, either could be good. Yeah, Nova was a good pick. Yeah, a great character who not many people know. I mean, comic book fans we know Nova, but fans of the MCU who watch the movies don't really know of a good character in Nova. So maybe that's a pretty good pick, and I would like to see Nova get some of the spotlight on the big screen. But
Yeah,
then back to comic books. Yeah, Richard said just guess Zuckerberg. He's the most wild person on the planet who also focuses on world domination. Well, who knows, Lars? If Lars suddenly backs out of the project, we'll see.
it's that AI boost. It's getting me.
If my comments are me correcting previous comments. Wow. Yeah, but we'll jump on from movies and we go back to actual comic books with Spider-Man and Superman, their crossover. It's going to be having. We got some updates on that and saying that some of the people who will be involved will be Brad Meltzer, Brian Michael Bendis, Jeff Johns. We just show that picture. Show me. There we go. The all new, all spectacular Spider-Man, Superman. So the first one, Superman, Spider-Man, comes out in March, and then this one, Spider-Man, Superman, comes out in April. I like that picture. A lot of great characters in both series.
I don't like the eyes on Spider-Man. I don't like when the eyes take up like the entire face of him.
As soon as you did the eyes, I'm like, oh yeah, they did. When you look at it, it is, yeah, really huge. But it's cool to see some of the others. See, we got even Cyborg Superman there. We got Mr.
Yeah, I mean
Mr. Pivotal, yeah.
Yeah, the one link I had sent to the chat, it shows all the variant covers on there, and I honestly found myself underwhelmed on just about every cover, which was disappointing. Like the Cyborg Superman and the Cyborg Spider-Man by Eric Larson was just so bad.
I think he should maybe he should just stick to characters that Uncle Gary loves. Certain heavy flow. But there's some more info I got. Let's see. Yeah, where's Crypto? And see Crypto in the middle, kind of above, a little bit by Superman and Spider-Man. Spider Pork. What is the
Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham, yeah. Peter Porker, right? Okay. Spider-Ham, Peter Porker. Okay. Got Black Cat there, got Metallo. Even got like Superboy Prime. So got the $1 million question here. How did Johns not get a Batman run other than Earth 2?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be John's first time writing for Marvel in like
it's like around 20 years. Yeah.
It was a long time ago that he wrote Avengers. He wrote it before Bendis, decided to take a shit on the franchise. Yeah, I'd see Crypto right there, front and center.
Yeah, right next to old Doc Ock. But I got some info on this one. And this is Dan Slott and Marcos Martin send Spider-Man Noir into the shadowy 1930s to meet the Golden Age Superman. Like I said, Jeff Johns is returning after 20 years, reunited with Gary Frank for a Super and Spider family clash sparked by Mysterio. It's like Jason Aaron and Russell Dodderman stage an epic showdown as symbiotes swarm Metropolis, and a tale featuring Jane Foster's Mighty Thor, Wonder Woman, and more. And Louise Simonson and Todd Knock pit Steel against the Hobgoblin. I'm glad to see Steel get to be in a big story. We don't get to see much of Steel, so I like when I heard about that one.
You're right, Booze. I did like John's. It was short on Avengers, but it was good. And then Brad Meltzer doing a backup story for this, the first time he's ever written anything for Marvel.
Yeah, but one story Meltzer did write was one that I do love with Identity Crisis.
Me too.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have a review of that.
Yeah, that's a good story, and I remember how controversial it was. It was at the time.
And then a little more info. Joe Kelly and Humberto Ramos deliver a campus crossover starring Gwen Stacy and Lana Lang. There's got to be some more people for that one. Some more characters for that one. And then Brian Michael Bendis and Sarah Pacelli reunite Miles Morales with Superman and a team up fans won't want to miss. And that was from the AIPT comics. So we'll see what goes on with this crossover.
Yeah, like I said, looking through all the variant covers that are on there, I was disappointed after seeing, the ones for the Deadpool Batman, the Batman Deadpool one, and even though I bought the main cover for each one, I bought the sketch cover to draw on and try and sell, and then I got the two covers that had Cap and Wonder Woman on them because they had Cap. But there were a bunch of other ones I saw. I was like, oh, that's a good cover, and that's a good cover. Like, if I had more disposable income, I would have bought them too. But this one, I just, and I haven't seen all, or I don't remember all the DC ones, but at least this batch of ones for Marvel is just, like I said, I've been disappointed in them. And the only one that really kind of jumped out at me was the Golden Age Superman Spider-Man Noir one. I thought it looked pretty cool, but I'm a sucker for that old Fleischer Superman logo.
I wonder if in time, when it gets closer, maybe only 2 months away till the first one comes out, and then 3 from the second one, if there'll be more released, or like when it gets like the week of, or something like, oh, here's a special one, here's another one.
Well, I find it interesting too that the Batman Deadpool one, like the main cover, obviously had Batman and Deadpool on it, and some of the variants had them, but then most of the variants were other, just random Marvel and DC characters that just got.
Like this one, I was like, I don't think Dr. Doom's in there, but
yeah, they were just, like Scarlet Witch, and was it like Scarlet Witch and Zatanna, and different ones where it's just like random Marvel and DC characters matched up on a cover together, and they didn't even have stories in the book. So I find it interesting that all of these, at least for Marvel, all the variant covers are all some version of Superman, or a Superman character and a Spider-Man character, and not, just other random Marvel DC characters. And that all the backup stories in it are Superman characters and Spider-Man characters, and not like the other one, which was like, yeah, there's Batman Deadpool, but then also there's all these other little crossovers with characters that are just other random characters, like Green Arrow and Daredevil, and Captain America and Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I think Steel and Hobgoblin would be pretty cool. Just because, like, Steel would be nice to, like I said, I feel like Steel is such a great character who was just completely underrated, and I'm like, man, if they gave him more of a push, I think he could be one of those really popular characters.
Yeah, he was pretty popular for a while, when he was introduced, and during the reign of the Superman, he had he was the one in the Man of Steel book, and then even after Superman came back, he had his own title that ran for a pretty good amount of time.
Crazy when you think how long ago that was.
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah, and Sal got that one Man of Steel, the one cover where you would like have the die cut and you open it up and then it's him. He got that signed at Baltimore, not this past year, but the year before that, got it signed there by the artist John Bogdanove, who also did a little Steel remark on it, and then Louise Simonson, who wrote it, she was there and she signed it for him too.
Nice, awesome. And anybody want to check out awesome video we got at the Codex Station, as guys, Baltimore back in 2024, and you there at 2025's Baltimore Con.
Yeah, and the year before that. We got videos for the past 3 years there.
Yeah, 2023 as well. Damn, time is flying by. Crazy when I was, reading and stuff. I'm like, how before Daredevil versus Deadshot would be a cool story.
That would be cool.
I agree.
Oh, I mean, even better would be Bullseye Deadshot.
Bullseye Deadshot. Two mean characters. Well, one thing when you were saying, Dan, before, I believe you said it was like 1986. Did you say it was the best year in comic books? Before.
Oh, I might have. That sounds familiar because of all the stuff that was getting released that year. Yeah.
To think that's 40 years ago. Well, going 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, all these stories are 40. They're turning 40 this year. Time is flying by.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Like this year, we will say, I'll say 5 years of the Codex Station / podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be this week. But yeah, so any other things about the news? Like I said, when it came to Brainiac, Lars, I don't think I've seen him in, was that show Vep. So I haven't really seen much other things he's been in. But yeah, there's one scene in Irma Vep that is definitely, even if you don't watch the whole show, I mean, yes, you can see what he did in there, but even if you probably look it up on YouTube, just like Irma Vep, one very interesting scene with the two ladies. And people are like, it has millions of views, but the one scene is way more views than the whole show.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of him before, but I saw the picture of him. I'm like, yeah, that guy looks like a weird alien guy. Well, don't forget, also in the news, they just released the 4th little sneak trailer thing for Avengers Doomsday a couple days ago.
You were seeing the one where Shuri meets up with the Thing, and then.
Well, I thought it was interesting too. M'Baku's there with her, he's the one that introduces him. He says King M'Baku of Wakanda. So it's like, oh, I guess him and Shuri must have gotten married then. Yeah,
so we will see what happens. Yeah, and then it was one thing you had sent in the chat where it was saying that talking about, don't consider these trailer or don't consider them teasers. They're just stories on their own. But teasers.
Yeah,
they're leading us to it.
Their quote is, "What you've been watching for the last 4 weeks are not teasers or trailers. They are stories. They are clues. Pay attention." That's what the Russo brothers said. Yeah, then there's the rumor out there that Doom's going to have his own team, and it's going to be like the evil Steve Rogers Hydra guy, and like King Thanos. And I forget, there's like 2 other characters they said. It's like, I don't know about all that. I'll be mad. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be mad if they bring Steve Rogers back and then they have him be the Hydra one, and just the Hydra one. Like
Steve Rogers will return.
Yeah, like I'll be pissed if it's I don't mind if they do the bad one as long as the good one's there. But if they just do the the Steve, I'll be mad. I'll be upset. I hated that storyline. I hated it so much.
Bring it the Wolf.
Yeah, Cap Wolf.
Bring out Cap Wolf. We want Captain America's the Wolf.
That would be wild if they actually did that, wouldn't it? If all of a sudden it's like nighttime and you start wolfing out, I'd be like, we sitting there like, there's no way that they're actually going to do this, are they?
Yeah, I could see Deadpool mentioning it, like, aren't you supposed to turn into a werewolf or something like that? But to actually do it, I would be like, wow, gotta get it. We're going forward with Cap Wolf.
Yeah, and there's, when they did that big cast announcement, and they had all those chairs and all the names and stuff. You know, I know Hemsworth was. I'm pretty sure he was one of them on there, but like, Chris Evans wasn't one of the names. So for the first trailer to be, oh, here's Chris Evans, you know, and Steve Rogers will return. You know, it's clear that they made that the first little teaser trailer story thing, whatever you want to call it, because he wasn't in the announcement for all the cast. So I think that's their way of saying like, hey, we announced this big cast, but you know, it's not going to be just that too. So I'd be shocked if Deadpool and Wolverine don't show up in it.
Yeah. Remember you and I, we were like, I think there was AI because at first, remember they were just like, it was like released with kind of not the best
the one on the
quality.
internet, the one on the internet that got posted on our group chat was AI
because he was showing like his foot. Something looked odd with the way he was.
I said, look at the way he puts his foot down. Look at the way he sets the helmet down. I was like, those are not natural movements. And then, you know, somebody's like, well, that, you know, it's just an AI recreation of the trailer. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not the trailer. And then they, you know, put it online a day or two later. And it's like, yeah, okay. So it was an AI recreation of that, but, you know, poorly done because it's AI. And then someone had redone the X-Men version of the trailer with AI too, but then it like added all kinds of stuff that wasn't in it. Like it added Beast and Nightcrawler and all that.
Yeah. So at least I didn't see that one. I saw like said the Steve Rogers one. Oh yeah, the clock. Yeah, the Doomsday clock that's just running down just for how many months? Yeah, so 11 months. So just tick, tick,
11 months. How many days? Yeah.
I checked it out and I said they're commenting like constant. I'm sure if we went on it right now, people are still commenting. It's like so and so will be back in Avengers Doomsday. So like they're just randomly adding everywhere. Someone's like Goku will return in Avengers Doomsday, and yeah, so people in the comments having fun.
I'm convinced that they you know that there's going to be characters that show up that were not announced, you know, and there's so many dickwads out there that just want to post spoilers online so they can be like, I saw it first, I knew it first, here's a proof. Like, all right, man, like I want to enjoy it and, you know, get that sense of, you know, excitement and, you know, and surprise the first time I see it in the theater. So this is one I predict is going to have a very high opening weekend. Because, yeah, people are just going to, you know, they're going to want to avoid spoilers.
Yeah. And they should play surprise trailers here during the live stream at 3 a.m. Yeah, well, I'd be up, but I won't be watching that. I'll be up writing.
How about this, Mr. Keith? It's not, you know, it's not about who is making sure the live stream is counting down all year. It's who is it that's sitting there and watching it the whole time? Because, you know, there's somebody somewhere that's just got it on all the time, whether it's like on their phone, on their laptop, their tablet, wherever, that has it on. So if something pops up, they can be the first to be like, oh, this came up. Because every, you know, now in the internet age we live in, everybody's got to be the first to do it.
Yeah. So with us, you know, when we find something out and we mention it on the news, we like to wait to like, okay, it's out there. Everyone's kind of seeing this, so now we'll add to the news. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, okay, because we don't want it to be like if we suddenly found something out that's super secret and we see no one's talking about it, then like, okay, you know what? Let's not spoil it for everybody. But when it's pretty much around, we see it's going through all the comic book groups, everyone's talking. It's like, okay, let's chat about it.
I mean, if you watch the X-Men one, I see people point out that I didn't notice at first, you know, when they had that big thing where like Cyclops is going like, and shooting his eye beams up, like you see a Sentinel foot behind him just like walking in the background.
I saw one thing Photoshop. It's like, did you notice this? And it was they put Sonic the Hedgehog under him. Yeah. Did you guys notice this? So yeah. Seems like I said, so some things obviously I don't think Sonic the Hedgehog is gonna be in there, but like I said, the Sentinel I'll pay attention to next time I see it. But
yeah, I saw somebody, you know, who obviously doesn't know comics commenting about the symbolism of the X-Men logo that's on Xavier's jacket, you know, the black circle with the black X and the red there, and he's saying, oh, when it's they chose red because it's this, and like goes into this long explanation, and black because of this, and it symbolizes this and this and this and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Richard's like, not me, for who's watching it the whole time.
Hey, if you are, let us know because I'd like to know how it's going. If there's been any mess ups into the
But
chats, if there's any arguments in the chats.
but it was this like long post, like going into the symbolism about picking those colors and this and that, and then everybody in the comments was like it doesn't be like that's all bullshit. It doesn't mean that at all. This has been the X-Men logo for like 50 years. Like just tell or the tell me you've never read a comic without telling me you've never read a comic. Like they've always had this logo, the black X with the red behind it. Like you're reaching too much there.
Yeah, some people overanalyze. Yeah, sometimes it's just like I said, it was made 50 years ago.
With the Russos saying the thing about, these aren't trailers or teasers. This is a story. And I'm sure somebody's sitting there like analyzing them and trying to piece them together to figure something out.
Oh, they know that. They know how to tease people and get people going. Yeah, it's a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
teasers do
that.
Oh, it says Steve Rogers is coming back, not Captain America. And I'm like, yeah, because he's not Captain America anymore. Sam Wilson's Captain America. Like, if it said Captain America's coming back, then everyone would be like, well, what about Sam? What about this? What about that? Like, no, Steve's coming back. Maybe he'll be Nomad. Maybe he'll be the second Captain America. Maybe he'll just be Steve.
Or Cap Wolf. No, he won't be.
Yeah.
But yeah, they know how to get people excited. They know how to get people talking. They know how to market it. They've got hundreds of $1 million towards their marketing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean the Russos, their last two Avengers movies made like over $1 billion each. So
yeah,
I think that they, I think, and all I see all these people criticizing, Marvel's just banking on nostalgia. They brought the Russos back and Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, and they brought all these guys back. And I'm like, yeah, because they made over $1 billion with both of the last two movies. Like, it's a proven winning formula. Why wouldn't you go back to it until it's not?
Yeah. We'll see. And like I said, I agree. I think that it will be huge when it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
So Avengers Doomsday, I'm sure we'll have more updates soon about it. I'm sure they'll be releasing more teasers, stories, more things going on.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the clock countdown thing, I guess, if I was like sitting there and just working or something, and it's like, yeah, maybe I'll have it on the screen and have it on the background, just like sitting there in case something does pop up, like not sitting there like intently staring at it, but just kind of have it on if I'm like doing some other thing. But even that, I'm like, like maybe I'd put it on if I'm here like organizing this just massive amount of comics here that I have to put in boxes.
Yeah, just hear. Wait, does it? I think it just makes a noise. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that probably I'd have to mute it because that would get really, really old really quick.
And then you turn, and that's when you miss the new trailer.
Well, I'm also not like I have to be the first one to see it. I'm like, all right, I'll wait till someone else posts shit. The movie doesn't come out for a damn year. I'm usually sit here with TV on my laptop while I'm like putting comics away. Like right now, I'm working on watching the Kite Man series since my brother-in-law gave me his HBO password. All right, let's have a good night.
Thank you and take care. And that's one might say it's a bit insane that Liz is leaving. So you know what it's time for.
Yes.
You know what it's time for Variant Insanity. So take a guess as to which comic book had the most covers this week. I'll give you a little hint, everybody. There's a tie between two.
Oh, well, let me think about it, because I was gonna also go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So let me see if I can figure out what the other one would be.
So
I'm gonna lock in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Richard got it too. TMNT 23. Okay, so you're going with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Richard did put it again. Yeah, see. TMNT 23.
TMNT and I don't know. Is this going to be like a parlay thing where I got to get both right, or I'm all wrong?
Boo's going with Absolute Batman.
Mm,
Mr. Keith going with Vampirella with 42.
I'm going to say.
Come on, tell us, Buzz.
I'm going to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers. Finally.
Okay. And it's actually Toy Story. No, I was looking at your thing under, and I'm like, wait, where's that from? I know where it's from.
Arc M came out last week, though. That's a good guess, though. Absolute Batman is hot right now.
And I will tell you, Mr. Keith, that last you had Vampirella. Last week was Vampirella. Started the year off with Vampirella winning.
I'm going to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Transformers. And because I know that they have been releasing fewer variant covers, I'm going to just say a dozen for each.
A dozen for each. Who said? Yeah. I about said Transformers. Okay. So I'll give everybody a bit of a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This week, 2 comic books had the most variant covers. One of them is KO number 3.
Son bitch.
There's a little bit of info provided by Sal the Slab Guy. The writer Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder. The artist was Zimnico and Javi Fernandez, and the cover artist is Javi Fernandez. And the other one was Noel.
Oh man, me too.
And a bit of Noel, yeah. The writer is Tom Waltz and Al Ewing. The artist is Juan Ramirez, and the cover artist is Ryan Stegman.
All right, well then, if it's those two, I'm gonna say it's 10 covers.
You're going with 10. Mr. Keith says he feels so KO'd. And Booge is going with 24.
Well, Booge put 24 in before. So you want to stick with 24, or do you want to amend that because he put that in before the reveal?
Yeah. And so you said you're going with 10, right?
I'm gonna go with 10 because Marvel and DC generally don't do an obscene amount of covers, or when they do, it's for like an actual like it's the first part of the Jim Lee, Jeff Loeb Hush Part 2, or it's the Batman Deadpool crossover. Like it's for something specific, not just for 2 random issues.
And yes, Richard, you're right. Yeah, like I said, a Marvel book, they haven't won variant in a while. Yeah, it has been a long time. So look at that. It's Marvel and DC, seeming like it would have been years ago. Like if we had done variant insanity years ago, maybe this would be normal. But yeah, so today different. Boo says he's going with 12 for now.
12. Yeah.
So
yeah,
count down 10.
I'll stick with 10.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dan, it's right in between you and Booge.
Oh.
This week, DCKO number 3 and Noel number 1 have 11 covers. That information brought to you by Sal the Slab Guy. So once again, DCKO number 3 and Noel number 1.
Well, it'll be interesting on the show Saturday night to see how many of those 11 covers for Noel Sal bought.
But like I said, why do you have 30 comic books? There's 11 different covers for it.
Like, but you have 30 of them, not.
Yeah. Not 11.
I just always think back to that one unboxing video he did where he kept like showing the covers, and he had like, I counted it at the time, and it was because we were making fun of him for one cover, and it was one cover he had bought like 16 copies of or something.
Was it with Venom? It was just Venom on the cover.
Yeah,
I remember one time it was just like Venom, the same cover.
But then, well, I said 10, so by Price is Right rules, I'm closest without going over, so I win. But then when I rewatched the video, I noticed like, all right, it's not just this one book. Like this one book that we're making fun of him for. Yeah, he's got like a dozen or 13 of that cover. But I was noticing like, well, this cover on this other book, he got 5 copies of that. This cover on this other book, he got 5 copies of that too. He got 6 copies of this one. I was like, Jesus, he's just buying, it's not just different covers of the same book. It's, multiple copies of the same cover on the same book.
That time, that one video, like he had box over box. And they said there were probably a total of like 5 different Venom comic books for like 5 different boxes. 1 box per Venom book. But that's our Sell the Slab guy. So there you go. One more time this week. DCKO number 3 and Null number 1 win for your insanity with 11 copies each. So now we go on to right or wrong. Everyone know, let your statements, let it be known if you agree right or wrong in the chat. Dan, I'll have you go first.
All right. I'm going to keep mine pertinent to the current news that we covered. So for Blade, the actor cast for it to play is the great, and I'm sure I'm going to say his name wrong, Mahershala Ali. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was cast years ago, and the only thing we've seen of him so far is hearing his voice, for like saying one sentence at the end of Eternals. We don't even see him; we just hear his voice. And then they got someone else to voice him in that terrible Marvel Zombies cartoon. So, right or wrong, we will never actually get to see Mahershala Ali play Blade in live action.
I will say wrong. I think somewhere along the lines there's some kind of maybe Secret Wars, somewhere where they're doing some kind of multiverse, maybe even if it's quick. I don't know if we'll see a full movie, but I think at some point we'll see a quick.
I'm going to say right. Bit. I'm going to say at this point, it's just inevitable that he drops out.
So we will see what happens. Well, we'll see many years from now. So
yeah, Booge agrees with me.
He agrees with you. He goes right. So does Richard. So
yeah,
I'm the only one who thinks that maybe interesting. But Keith agree with you. So I'm the only one who thinks maybe Mahershala Ali might, because I know that they said he's a fan. He wants it. So
we can come back to it on the discussion part. Now we'll reveal my reason why I pick right.
Okay. So then I'll go with number 2.
All right.
And I say DC and Marvel's next big crossover after Superman and Spider-Man will be between 2 teams.
I'm going to say wrong.
Okay, so we got Batman, Deadpool, Superman, and Spider-Man. I say right. I think it will be between 2 teams, but Dan says wrong. So I wonder what the chat says, but okay.
So hopefully the chat will continue to disagree with you.
Well, either way,
no, Booge agrees with you.
Booge agrees, but either way, a good story is what I want. That's the main thing I want. I want it to be good and entertaining. So Richard agrees with me too. So, all right, Dan, number 3. This kid said 2 wrong, but would be cool.
They have this. They've released these 4 trailers, teaser stories, whatever the hell you want to call them, for Avengers Doomsday, and they have the countdown clock going. It will be months before we get any other kind of official release about the movie.
I say Power Girl versus Rogue. Pretty good fight. I like that. I think it might be more of a backup story, but hey, I'd be for it. I'm gonna say wrong. I think in about a month we'll see a new.
No, I said official, not like something that's leaked or anything like that. That's them officially.
I think they'll officially put something out in like a month. So
I'm gonna say right that. So you say wrong, I say right.
yeah, all right. Richard also says right, and Bruce says wrong.
Oh, now
It's nice to have everybody mixing. You know, we're not always agreeing. You know, sometimes it's nice to agree. Sometimes it's nice not to agree. Like we said, we're all just guessing. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So number 4, we'll go to me. I'm going to still stick on to Superman and Spider-Man. I see the Superman-Spider-Man crossover will be better than the Batman-Deadpool crossover.
Well, which one? Because you know the
I'm going to say overall.
Marvel one was a lot better than the DC one.
I agree with that. That actually right. I'm going to say in an overall because I read both and I like the first Deadpool Batman a lot better than the second one. So I'm just
I like
the
the second one much better.
Yeah, the second one I like the first one.
Yeah, the one that had like all the different variants of Batman and Deadpool showing up, and it had Dark Claw in it, and yeah,
I like Dark Claw. I know you like Dark Claw. I actually like the first one. So there we go. But I'm talking about in an overall. Out of both stories, like if you have to pick both against both,
and this is including backup stories.
I'm pretty much just going with the main story, you know, because with the backstories, it's still kind of who knows.
I'll say right.
I'm gonna say right too. Be optimistic, and hey, it might be. I'm not like without a doubt. There's nothing that will change my mind. I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna say right.
Well, they've already had crossovers between them twice. Now, granted, that was like, 40, 50 years ago, but they had 2 crossovers with them before. And, you know, I think that these 2 characters go together a bit more naturally than Batman and Deadpool do.
Yeah, Mr. Keith, yeah, we're saying it too. Yeah, easier to write those 2 characters interacting. Excuse me. So, all right.
All right.
There's my 2, and then now. Yeah, Bruce says, yeah, wrong. Didn't read it, but Batman's my favorite, and Deadpool's another character I've liked for decades.
All right. So I'll close it out. And mine is actually also related to the Spider-Man Superman one. The Spider-Man Superman or Superman Spider-Man, you know, which one will not sell as well as the Deadpool Batman Deadpool crossover.
I'm going to say right.
I'm going to say right as well.
So there you go. On the 5th one, we agree. Yeah,
right.
I think maybe too the first time is something a little more special, like oh wow, you know, and then now it's like okay, they're doing it again.
Yeah, I mean they both work for newspapers. Yeah, they both got the red and the blue. All right, you want to hop back to the first one?
All right, so we'll jump back on to your first one.
All right, so Boo says right for number 5. All right, so the first one. Yep, everyone's saying right for the. You know, for number 5.
That one we all agreed on.
Yeah,
in the end, we all came together and agreed.
So the first one, I said Mahershala Ali will never actually get to see him play Blade. I said right, and my reasoning is because he got cast. What has it been, like 4 or 5 years now? Like he got cast
something like that.
He got cast a few years ago, and the movie keeps getting. Next, we need Wolverine 1. Richard 6, right?
Right, Lobo does suck, says Richard.
Yeah, it's because he cast years ago, and they keep going through different scripts, and they've had 2, 3, 4 different directors come on.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
3 different directors come on the project and then leave, and then I know it's common for while Marvel does try and get some of the live action actors to do the voices on the animated stuff, and they do get some of them but they don't get all of them. It's still the first time we actually fully see Blade, and it's not him doing the voice. And Wolverine Deathstroke would be cool.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight.
And 2020, yeah. So Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's been a while. Yeah, I just think because we haven't seen him yet, and it keeps going through all this, and now there's the rumor that they're not even going to do Blade, that they're going to do Midnight Suns. Like, yeah, the guy's a fan, but he's also 51 years old now. And 51 years old is kind of old for playing the character for the first time. It's not like, Hugh Jackman's getting up there in age, but he's been playing the character for 20 years.
Yeah.
So at some point you're just kind of like, oh, whatever, we've seen him. Like, if we would have seen Blade when he was 45, 46 for the first time, all right, whatever. But 51 now, still no clear time on when it's actually going to start filming. I just think at some point he's just going to either him say, what, enough's enough, or they're going to say, you're too old for it now.
It's a good point. Yeah, for me, I just go with that. I believe like that him, like I don't think it's about the money or like Marvel people. I just think it's he's very passionate, and somewhere along the line, I don't know about a full movie anymore, but maybe somewhere we'll just see, even if it's a quick clip of a multiverse, how things could have been. So I still think there's a chance. So there you go. There's what you say right, I say wrong, and then and everybody else in the comments, yeah, they were with you on the right. And then my statement was DC and Marvel's next big crossover after Superman and Spider-Man will be between two teams. For me, it's just a guess. I thought, okay, they've had 4 huge characters, and now they may say, okay, let's try to do it a little bit different. I think they're gonna put 2 teams together, and yeah, that one kind of had people, but more people were saying right. A couple, Mr. Keith said wrong, but it would be cool. But the others were saying right, and I know you said wrong.
Yeah, I just think that I mean they did what originally they did the 2 Spider-Man Superman book crossovers, and they did the Batman Hulk crossover, and then I think the next one after that was when they did X-Men Teen Titans. Yeah. So it was, yeah, I know. I don't. Why can't they just stop aging and just play the character forever? But
it's so taking too long to cast me before I get to 60, but I'll still play it.
Yeah. So they did do a crossover between teams fairly early, as far as the amount of books they put out then. But I don't know. There's just so many more characters now. I feel like they'll do more of a build up until they get to a team. But it's just a guess. I could be completely wrong. I wouldn't mind seeing a team thing. If they do a team one, I'd rather it be like a series instead of just a one shot, because I feel like the thing holding all of them back so far is just that the confines of having like the one story and then all the little short stories in it. There's only so much you can do in that short space.
Yeah, and then too, like so building a team, not many people are going to get much of a spotlight if it's a quick 15-page story.
Yeah, the JLA Avengers was amazing. I mean, that still ranks up there as one of the best of all time.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So who do you think the teams will be then?
I know. I was trying to think if it would be like Suicide Squad and X-Men.
Because I
feel like Suicide Squad's going to be one of the teams.
I don't think that they would do JLA Avengers again. I mean, not that. Oh, I don't think
that they would do it again.
I don't think that would be the first one. But yeah, I think they'll stick with individual characters for a while.
My guess is going to be the Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts.
Every member of the Exiles versus both Marvel and DC.
I think I did the list. Yeah. So Dan, yeah. So that's my guess. My guess is that it would be the Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts teaming up.
Suicide Squad and Thunderbolts. I mean, yeah, it would be natural depending on which Thunderbolts they do.
That's my guess.
What if they do a super villain team up?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
What if they do like a Doctor Doom, Lex Luthor full story, not just a little thing? JSA Invaders, everybody knows I harp on that. That's my dream crossover if done correctly.
Doom Patrol and Defenders too, yeah.
See, Doom Patrol and the original X-Men would be interesting too, since they came out so close to each other and there's so many similarities between them.
Yeah.
Eternals and Doom Patrol. Yeah, I mean, if they want to guarantee is the lowest sales possible.
Yeah, Eternal still won't sell good.
I mean, it would make more sense to do like Eternals and New Gods.
Yeah, and what was he? Who were we gonna say? Oh, Doctor Doom and Lex Luthor. The thing that would stop those two is their egos.
Yeah. All right. So number 3, I said it will be months before we get another official Avengers Doomsday update release trailer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and so me, I had said no. I think we'll get something in a month. So we'll just see. Not not
I
like
just
without a
think that
doubt, yes, but.
I just think that they release these 4 right now, and then after the 4th one, they put up the ticking clock. Yeah, that's another one that's very,
Fantastic
very
Four and
similar.
Challengers of the Unknown.
Both Kirby things, Apocalypse and the Cast of Bone. But yeah, I think because after the 4th one, they put up the little clock ticking down. So I feel like they're going to have that clock up there, and they're going to have it ticking down for a while before they release any other kind of trailer or a snippet from the movie. And especially too because it doesn't come out till the end of the year. We got over 11 months until it comes out. So I think it's going to be a while before they officially release any more footage.
Yeah, so we'll see. And then that one kind of had the comments a bit mixed. Some people said right, some people said wrong. And then number 4, mine was that the Superman Spider-Man crossover will be better than the Batman Deadpool. I said overall, I said yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
I think so because I thought the DC one with Batman and Deadpool and the Joker was okay. It wasn't. Yeah, that'd be an interesting.
Reese's Bone Elf Quest.
The DC one wasn't bad. It was okay. It was a fun read, but it also didn't. For the first time that they've had a crossover between the companies and how many decades, that I was like, all right, this is the first one. Like it's fine, but I want more than fine for that. And then the Marvel one I thought was a lot better.
And then me, I was the opposite. I thought that the first one was a lot better. So yeah, it's all opinions, and we'll see. Like I said, so I obviously want Spider-Man, Superman to have 2 issues where I love them both, but I'm not placing any money down on. Without a doubt, there's no way it could not be as good or better. So I think I'll say right that it'll be better, but
yeah. I think it will be. I think most of the chat agreed too.
Yeah, so that one was one that did have a lot of people on the right, and then you had number 5, and that one I think got us all to agree.
It's Spider-Man, Superman will not sell as well as Deadpool, Batman. Yep, and that's not a commentary on whether it's going to be better or worse, just that it's not going to sell as well.
Yeah, I agree. That it's, they have teamed up before, and then also the Deadpool Batman was like, oh wow, first time for a while that Marvel and DC are crossing over. Now it's like, okay, there's been a couple crossover issues, so I don't think it will sell as good.
Yeah, the first one sold so well because obviously they're both popular characters, and Spidey and Supes are both popular characters, but it'd been so long since there was any crossover. And then we got, and then they put that, and then all the backup stories were other different characters. So, it was excitement like, oh, Kevin Smith had great runs on Green Arrow and Daredevil, and he's doing a crossover for them. And like, oh, there's this crossover too of different characters. And
Frank Miller with Wolverine and Batman.
So
that was unfortunately the biggest minus for me with the first issue.
But there would be people that bought it, which might have said, well, I might not care about Deadpool or Batman, but these other characters in the backup stories, I want to get it to read them.
I like the Captain America Wonder Woman story.
And with all the variant covers and people that buy all the different covers. And like I said, there were so many more characters on those ones than on this one. At least the Marvel ones you look at, and it's all Spider-Man and Superman related characters. There's no mixing in other characters. So I think that might cut down sales too. Someone might look at like, I don't need to buy 10 covers of Spider-Man, Superman, if they're all on them.
Yeah. So that is that. That wraps up our right or wrong for this week. So now it's time to go to the random panel of the week, and this is why this episode is called "This Is Balls," and that is because there's a random panel of the week. And look at Wasp in the background. She says, "Oh, this is balls." And Dan,
And
you posted this. You posted this in Comic Character of the Week, like about I don't even know if it was a full week ago.
yeah, and I think the next panel on the page was the guy that snapped his neck, going like, "Oh man, I didn't mean to do that."
Okay, yeah, because who is it? Is it Ant-Man getting his neck snapped?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I didn't know it's the Wasp. I'm trying to see if that was, yeah, so it is Ant-Man. Who was that breaking his neck?
I don't remember.
Yeah, but Wasp, I don't know why she would say, "Oh, this is balls."
I think that's Nadia. I don't think it's Janet.
Okay, so Nadia, who's yeah, maybe she's trying to come up with something new, something a new slang, a new term.
I might
Oh,
be
this is
wrong. It might be
balls.
Janet.
Well, one of those ladies said, "Oh, this is balls." So I guess that's the thing you could say if someone's getting beat up now.
I don't
This is
know.
balls.
I get 2 emails a day from Pinterest that's like, "You're so good at curating," or whatever, and it's just with an algorithm, I guess figures what how it figures out what you want. So it's usually a bunch of comic stuff, and I'll just open the email up and I'll scroll through it, and unfortunately, it sends me the same panels and the same pages over and over and over again. But every once in a while, there's a new one in there, and I'll see it, and I'll be like, "Oh, that'd be good for random panels." So I'll just screenshot it and crop it, and and put it in there. So this one, I couldn't tell you what book it was from, but yeah, it's something that got sent to me from Pinterest, or like it'll be a whole page on there. Then I'll have to kind of zoom in on my phone and look at it, be like, well, this one panel here, this one random panel here, taken out of context from the rest, is pretty funny, and hence this.
Well, I saw this one and I liked it, and I said, "You know what's going on this week?" So, oh, this is balls. If anybody knows, feel free to put it in the comments, because I'd like to know where that was from. Yeah, and look at that. Mr. Keith says, "Yeah, it was her catchphrase when she was on a sitcom in the '70s." Definitely talk like that they would say in the '70s shows. This is balls. So
I think that would be more of a '90s thing, wouldn't it? Wasn't that more '90s slang?
Yeah, I don't know anybody saying it though, but who knows? Maybe in the 1950s. Maybe in the
I
1950s.
vaguely remember it being used when I was in high school.
Oh, okay, because me, I don't remember anybody saying it. But yeah, but my time was after that. So if you have a big friend here who's too eager to crack someone's back,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Named
and
Bane.
here's that one. Yeah, good one, Bane. All right, then now it's time for the list. It's time for the F list. Now joining the F list is one of the first characters I've ever seen and said, "Man, this character is horrible," and it is Nanny.
Oh yeah, I know him from X Factor.
Yeah, that's right. There's Nanny looking like
and Excalibur.
Humpty.
Didn't she pop up in Excalibur
She's
too?
been in all like the X stories. Unfortunately, I've seen her again and again. Yeah, there she is. And looking like Humpty Dumpty, robotic suit. And like you say, she's taking on X Factor and X-Men and Excalibur. Off and there you go. Now, right there, she's got her
A little
lips.
mustache.
Yeah. And now, look at how embarrassing this is. She's drunk. She said, "Gosh, it's going down." And Mr. Sinister says, "What?" And she says, "Judgment Day, mother beep." And then slashes him. Look at.
That's pretty funny.
Pretty funny to look at, but I'm like, that brings the. That does not make Mr. Sinister look good at all. The little Dumpty woman, Nanny, going at him with a broken beer bottle. But yeah. So, as you know, Nanny is, like you said, yeah, from the X stories. Would you like to take any guesses to the history?
I don't remember. Like I recognize the character, but it's been so long since I've read those X Factor books. I don't remember. I'll say it was the character's real name is Alexa Egnikoff. and she was a Russian pediatric nurse, or what do you call the nurses that work in the wards with the maternity wards, maternity nurse or something. I
Which
don't
is
know.
called that, midwives, or
Yeah,
there's
she
one
was a
of them.
Russian midwife, and after she got fired from her job for too many babies dying, uh, when she was the one in charge of helping them be born, she turned to a life of villainy, and she decided, well, a baby always starts with a sperm impregnating an egg, and since I'm a woman, that's the egg. So I'm going to make myself a egg costume that I can wear, a suit of egg armor that will give me superpowers, so I could take on these people and I can steal all their babies.
Okay, well, there we go. Nanny, whose real name is Eleanor Murch. She was created by Louise Simonson and Walter Simonson. And yes, like you said, first appeared in X Factor number 30, 1988. And now, the nanny, Nanny, not Frank Fisher, the nanny, but Nanny Eleanor Murch. Yeah. Well, I think this nanny's even worse. I haven't heard her laugh, but yeah, this one, yes, she's just known as Nanny. Yeah, Eleanor she's employed by the right with Cameron Hodge. They're bigoted anti-mutant haters, and she began working, but they found out she's a mutant, and they pit her into this horrible outfit. However, she later on changed ways, but she got Orphan Maker, and she has this kind of mutant ability. Some of them aren't too known, but some of them are kind of up in the air, like how she turns people into their younger selves, their younger states. So, for instance, she turned Storm into a younger version, like a kid version of herself. But if the battle suit Nanny is encased in this battle suit, yeah, and it's egg shaped, as you can see. And it's capable of flight, teleportation, and producing a repulsor field, firing rockets. And it's a built-in machine pistol, right? But now she does have a little bit of telepathy, so that's how she is able to bring people back to their child state. But then she, thinking she's doing good, decided to kidnap babies and kill their parents. If their parents, she think, oh, the parents don't know how to deal with having mutant kids, so I'll kill them and I'll take the babies and just have them. Also, too, she has right in this picture you see a blue leg. That's from Orphan Maker, who was like her son. She's raised him as her son, and she has him go out and kidnap the babies. And she has dealt with X Factor and X Men and Excalibur. Even to trying to steal many, even Fantastic Four, she tried to steal Franklin Richards. She has been defeated by multiple times. Archangel defeated her. I love Gambit, and in his first story, right after he debuts, he deals with young kid Storm as Nanny turns Storm into a kid version of herself, and Gambit defeated Nanny. One of the things that made me really root for him, but Nanny somehow tends to come back time and time again. Been killed, but brought back on Krakoa. Her powers got stronger, and even to one point, she was with the Hellions, taking on the zombie version of the Marauders. Mr. Sinister's Marauders. I'm guessing it was probably around this story arc where we see she's drunk and she goes at Mr. Sinister with a broken beer bottle. But yeah, she eventually came to the right. Her husband, Dr. Harold Murch, ended up finding out about the AI baby she had taken into her care. Yes, she started taking care of an AI baby, even though Orphan Maker is her favorite one. But she did take control of the ship that was formerly the Wright's property. And when, eventually she survived an explosion, and she went against Peter, who got all these people. And then after Peter's rampage at the Wright facility where the AI baby was held, led to him killing two innocent humans. Peter was the Orphan Maker. And so since then, she was mad at Orphan Maker, but Orphan Maker got sent to exile, and eventually she did start to care for him, and she said, okay, send me with him too. So they were entombed together as Nanny St. Peter and nursery rhyme. That's where she's at right now, exiled with Orphan Maker And another thing is that even all the way back in the 80s, when she would battle people, sometimes she would sing nursery rhymes that she felt went with the moment. But for me, it's more than just reading about the nanny. When I first saw this character, I was like, "Oh, this character's horrible." And I thought, "Oh, this character kind of is embarrassing to even have, like in an X Factor story." Let's see. Yeah, to be fair, we've all let's see. To be fair, yeah, we've all had a day we'd rather get through in a suit like that. She's been by radioactive mascot. Not actually just put in there by the right, you know. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, she should not be out of place next to the pouch. Yeah, she should be out of place here next to the pouch. Yes, there we go. Yeah, she belongs to be there with the pouch.
I bet
Yes.
it smells like egg farts in that whenever it opens up.
Oh yeah, because she's stuck in there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
she's hot.
I'm assuming she has not showered or somehow gets water in there. But they also said that somehow she drinks and somehow there's somewhere where you could put food and drinks in there, so she's able to eat and drink like that. But yeah, it was Dirty Cameron Hodge character I hate had her put in there, but she's stuck in there and then like I said, kidnapping the kids. Yeah, she's a horrible character thinking she's doing right. But I also main thing is like she's embarrassing. Like you have all these great X-Men characters, X Factor characters, all these great Marvel characters, and then you look at this character and like I'm like, how could you take this character almost serious to be like this character battling Archangel, and one issue they're battling Apocalypse, and then the next issue they're dealing with this character, and even just look at this image with Mr. Sinister. It's funny to look at, we can laugh at, but I think issues that Nanny is in, it kind of brings the value of it down. I think she's a hard character to take serious when you really look at her.
I don't know. You just went really in depth for for that. Like you went through a lot for that character.
There is a lot there. I was reading the I'm like, I can't read all of this. That's the crazy thing is when you go through it, there's a lot with Nanny. She's battled a lot of characters. Like I said, even Fantastic Four, she took Franklin Richards at one point. But I'm like, somehow she's an F-lister who has been around. And to me, I don't think for me, she's a character I don't see ever getting out of the F list. No. What about you, Dan? No.
That character's firmly entrenched in the F list. She can be there making omelets for everyone for breakfast every morning.
Yes, agreed.
Little arms.
Yeah, the little arms, and she could sing her nursery rhymes, and like it was said in the chat, like Mr. Keith said, yeah, she would not be out of place next to the pouch. So that is right. Nanny Eleanor Murch belongs on the F list.
What a terrible name, too. Eleanor Murch.
Eleanor Murch, Nanny. But now, Dan, let's go on to our topic of the week. And this week, the topic of the week is what makes you want to buy a comic book you've never heard of before.
Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
I'll ask you first. I'm curious as to what makes you buy a comic book that you've never heard of before.
There's various things that would go into it. Are we talking new comics or old comics, or just anyone in general?
I'm looking like, let's just say you go to the store or a comic shop and you see this comic you've never heard of. Like, what is something that would make you say, you know what, I'm going to buy this, regardless of age, unless it really matters to you. Like,
all right, well, again, there's different factors. So one factor would be if people I know whose opinion I respect say good things about it. Like if, and I've had it happen before too on the station when I do the Saturday show, Jamie or Gary or Sal or whoever on there will be buying a book and be like, oh, this is really good. And if I see them a couple times, or a couple months in a row and them saying it's really good, I'm like, you know what? I'll go out and give it a try. If it does sound like something that would interest me too. So the opinions of people I know, or even though opinions online can be divided, if I just keep hearing good thing after good thing after good thing from like wide varieties of people, that might make me do it. Or sometimes something you just see something sitting on the shelf that that jumps out at you and you look at it and you go, oh, that looks pretty cool. You might pick it up and flip through it and like, hey, this looks like it might be cool. I'll give it a shot. Or if someone in the shop recommends it too, because they know what you like. They see what you buy every week. So if I've had that where they say, hey, you should, like Local Man is an example. When that came out, the guy that worked at the shop there, Travis, would see what I buy every week, and when that came out, he said, hey, you should buy this. I think you'd really dig it. And I did, and I was like, hey, you were right. This is great. I love it. So it's mostly if people whose opinions I trust say good things, or if I just randomly see it on the shelf and I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks like interesting. I'll give it a shot.
Just looks cool. Yeah. Let's see. I do anything that has a feverish fan base. So even if it's bad, it's still probably interesting.
Yeah, like that Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League thing. I saw that when it came out on the shelf, and I was just like, yeah, the art looks decent. And I was like, Cheetah and Cheshire, whenever, I don't really care. And then Gary kept showing off and saying how good it was, so I went and and got the back issue. I didn't get issue 1 because they were sold out of that, so I had to read that online. But I got 2 and 3, and I was like, yeah, you're right. This is really good.
Yeah. And then, so like I said, for one where nobody's mentioned it, you'd say more like artwork kind of stands out. Like
Yeah, if I pick it up and I'm like, I see the title and I see the cover, I'm like, all right, kind of get the description of it. And, if I flip through it and the artwork looks decent, if I flip through and the artwork looks horrendous, it could be the greatest story in the world, but if the artwork is just that bad, it's going to turn me off of it.
Yeah, most kids say, yeah, nowadays I want to find something that's weird and indie, but looks like it has it looks like it has solid storytelling.
Solids.
Yeah. And I'd say for me, one thing is Local Man was actually one of the comics I was thinking of. At one time, I literally just found it and looked at it, and I was like, this looks pretty cool. Sometimes what gets me to buy a comic book that I've never heard of and I just see it is the chance of greatness. I don't know. Like, so obviously, sometimes if people recommended stories, like, okay, I'm hearing that it's good, but if I have no knowledge of it, like, hey, it has the chance. It could turn around and be something super good that just people haven't gotten to check out. Artwork does stand out to me, like when you haven't, when you don't know a character, sometimes a good cover stands out, or sometimes too. There's a difference between the cover and inside. And if I look inside, I'm like, oh, that actually looks like an interesting story. So a quick flick through pops out to me. Next to artwork is big. Price is a little bit, I'm guessing if it's unknown that it's not going to be very expensive. But let's say sometimes you see like an indie comic, it's unknown, and you see it's literally not much money. Let's say, okay, am I really losing that much if I spend $2 or $3 on this comic that has the chance that what if it is super good? And then for me, I look and say, hey, you never know. This may be a comic that has a great F-lister that I wouldn't find online because nobody knows it. So maybe I should give it a chance. Maybe I'll find an F-lister for the show.
I'll also say too, creators too. So if I see a book on the shelf or I see something coming out and I look at it like, oh, I really like that writer or I really like that artist or something, then I'll be more, there's been books where I've seen something like, oh, this is coming out, and I'm like, oh, well, I really like that writer, like, oh, I really like that artist, so yeah, I'll pick the first issue up, I'll give it a shot just based on that. Just like sometimes if you see a movie poster, you don't even have to see, you might not even see the trailer, but you see the poster and you're like, oh, I like that actor, I like that actor, I like that actor, I like that director, like, all right, I'll check it out.
Yeah, that is a good point, like you said, to look at other people's work to say, hey, I know their work, I'm a fan. That's another thing I should look at too. Yeah, instead of finding a comic I don't know, I'll recognize the name and be like, yeah.
Like I look at it like, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis is in this. It's probably pretty good
because he shares our birthday.
Day-Lewis, and he doesn't really pick bad movies to make.
And he shares our birthday, So.
Yeah. Does he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, him, Michelle Pfeiffer.
I knew Michelle Pfeiffer.
Willie Nelson.
Oh, nice.
So our birthday, April 29th, the day legends are born. Yeah, but like I said, so that's some of the main things that keep me. Like I said, taking chances. Like you just said right now, maybe think about that. If I see someone's worked on it that I'm a fan of, the art is big, price isn't too much, and of course, to find F-listers.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Keith says, I also want to see a good angle to a well-worn concept. Nothing is original, so combine tropes and concepts. Yeah, so everybody else watching too, everyone feel free to put it in the comments. What makes you want to buy a comic book that you've never heard of before? And too, if anybody has any stories of like a comic book they've never heard of and then suddenly checked it out and it was one of the best ones you've ever heard, or read or seen. So let it be known. We love to hear from you. We love to put on shows for you. And now I will say that we will start to bring this show to its conclusion. But of course, the Codex Station goes on and has our multiple shows every week. Just like tomorrow, you can see Dan and who will be joining you on Comic Character of the Week.
No, it's going to be the usual crew of me and Sal and Uncle Gary, and then Chris is going to be joining us as well.
Okay, I wonder will he still be behaved, or there's going to be a day when he stops behaving on Codex?
He normally behaves more when he's on camera than he does when he's just in the chat.
Yeah. But yes, and you guys were taking on Wally West, the Flash.
Yep. It was my pick this week, and I'm like, all right, let me pick someone that we all know pretty well, and it just goes to show, even though we've been doing the show for a long time, and even though we do pick obscure characters sometimes, there's still some big well-known ones out there that we haven't done shows on yet.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, on Saturday, Comics Unleashed, as usual. And then next week, you will see me, and I should be joined by Uncle Gary and Mighty Mike for another episode of the Codex Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Take care, and I will see you all next week. Enjoy the rest of your day. May it be a 10 out of 10.